Welcome to the Data Break 17927. This is our 25-26 Series 1 12-box case team random number 7. All right, 32 spots in this break. We have Brian, Brandon, Slick Rick, Brian L. Which toe is it? Jason, Jonathan, JK, Johnny, John, Terrelin, Sylvain, Brian L. True North, Brandon, Gilles, Jonathan, Suswendo, Jonathan, Bob, Redfire, Brian L. Dan, Jonathan, True North, True North, True North, Aaron, GMAC, Slick Rick, True North, and Brian. Sec there. All right. We have Brian W at the top, down to Brian L at the bottom. Brian W at the top, down to Brian L at the bottom. Here we go 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. John at the top, JK, Johnny at the bottom. John at the top, JK, Johnny at the bottom. Teams Anaheim down through to Winnipeg. Anaheim down through to Winnipeg 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. LA down to Toronto. LA down to Toronto. Here we go with your teams. John with LA, Bob with Carolina, True North with Detroit, Brian L with Montreal, Suswendo with Seattle, Brian W with Chicago, Terrelin with Florida, Brian L with Buffalo, True North with Utah, Brandon with Washington, Brian L with Calgary, Slick Rick with Colorado, True North with Dallas, Brandon with San Jose, Slick Rick with the Rangers, Jonathan Winnipeg, Sylvain with Boston, GMAC Nashville, Jonathan New Jersey, Aaron with Anaheim, Redfire with Tampa, Jonathan with Columbus, Brian L with St. Louis, Gilles with the Islanders, Aaron with Vancouver, True North with Vegas, Dan with Pittsburgh, Jason Ottawa, Which Toe is at Philadelphia, True North with Edmonton, Jonathan with Minnesota, and JK, Johnny with Toronto. A couple of minutes for trades. Almost again. Always the bridesmaid. Another minute or so for trades. All right, last call for trades. Here we go. Good luck, everyone. Here we go. More Series 1. Get something big. All right, we start with Sizzle Reel Brady Tkachuk, Young Guns Joakim Kemmel for Nashville, Dylan Holloway Portraits. Kirill Kaprizov, Alex Ovechkin, Canvas Checklist, Matthew Wood, Young Guns for Nashville, Roman Josi, Cup Quest. Seth Jones Encore Blue for Florida, Alex Ovechkin Encore, Sizzle Reel of Jacob Markstrom. Eichel and Stone Speckle Compadres, Jake Ottinger Canvas for Dallas, Goal Oriented Artemi Panarin. David Pastrnak Encore Boston, Tracking Systems of Joey Decord, Ryan Suzuki, Young Guns for Carolina. Philip Forsberg, Nashville Outburst, Alex Tuck Bustle, and Compositions for Detroit of Dylan Larkin. Frank Vetrano, Dazzlers for Anaheim, Owen Power of Buffalo, and Marco Rossi, Components, Minnesota. Or, sorry, Compositions. Sergei Bobrovsky Encore for Florida, Sizzle Reel David Pastrnak. Ozzy Weisblad, Young Guns for Nashville. Macklin Celebrini Swagnificent. Nice hit for the San Jose Sharks. Swagnificent Celebrini. Sizzle Reel Sam Reinhart, Oriented of Brady Tkachuk. Goal oriented. Logan Cooley for Utah, Canvas, Artem Leshnov. Young Guns Chicago and Kyle Connor, Cup Quest. Igor Shesterkin Encore for the Rangers, Matthew Barzal Compositions. Samuel Montembeau Tracking Systems. Compadres Forsberg and Josi, Vili Koivunen. Young Guns for Pittsburgh, and Mort Sider Portraits for Detroit. Box number 2. Nick Foligno Canvas for Chicago, Ryan Leonard, Young Guns for Washington, Sidney Crosby, Pittsburgh. Mark Stone Encore for Vegas, Leon Draisaitl Portraits for Edmonton, and Nazem Kadri Bustle. Sizzle Reel of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Buffalo, Rory Cairns. Young Guns for Calgary, Goal Orientated Sidney Crosby, Pittsburgh. Jack Eichel Dazzlers for Vegas, Adam Lowry Canvas, Winnipeg, and Artem Levshinov for Chicago Portraits. Jordan Binnington Encore for St. Louis, Tracking Systems UC Saros Nashville. Olivier Rodriguez, Edmonton Young Guns. A Young Gun Canvas of Ozzy Weisblatt. For the Nashville Predators, Rodrigo Abels, Young Guns for Philadelphia. Jesper Bratt, Goal Oriented. Ryan Suzuki, Young Gun Clear Cut. Nice hit for the Carolina Hurricanes. Uri Slafkovsky Encore, sizzle reel of Evan Bouchard. Matthew Nye's bustle for Toronto, Quinn Hudson. Young Guns for Edmonton, Alex Ovechkin, Washington. Charlie Lindgren, Tracking Systems, Connor McMichael for Washington, William Eklund, Cup Quest. Evan Bouchard Encore for Edmonton, Jake Ottinger Tracking Systems, and Jack Finley Young Guns for Tampa. Young Gun Outburst, Nikita Tolopolo for the Vancouver Canucks. This one, Vancouver. Sizzle reel of Jared McCann and Gabe Perreault. Nice Young Gun Outburst, Retro Outburst. Very nice. Charlie McAvoy for the Boston Bruins. It's one of those Outburst updates, short prints. Very nice hit for Boston. Charlie McAvoy. Card number OR20. Very cool. Leo Carlson and Rasmus Dahlin. Canvas Alex Ovechkin for Washington, Mark Gatcomb. Young Guns for the Islanders, Leon Draisaitl Portraits. Dustin Wolf Encore for Calgary, goal-oriented Austin Matthews, Speckle and Sizzle Reel of Owen Tippett. Sizzle reel of Sidney Crosby, Rodrigo Abels, Young Guns for Philadelphia, Matthew Barzal for the Islanders. Dalibor Dvorsky Dazzlers for St. Louis, Tage Thompson Buffalo Canvas, and Tage Thompson Cup Quest. Zach Hyman, Encore for Edmonton, and Joseph Wool Tracking System. Jacob Quillen, Young Guns for Toronto. Zane Perrick, Young Guns Canvas for the Calgary Flames. Donovan Sabrango for Ottawa, Igor Shesterkin Rangers. Clear cuts of Justin Falk for the St. Louis Blues, Tim Stützle Encore, Connor Hellebuck Tracking Systems. Jonathan Marchessault Bustle for Nashville, Ivan Demidov Young Guns for the Montreal Canadiens. First Demidov for Montreal, Cale Makar Portraits. Chris Letang, out of 100, exclusive for Pittsburgh, Evander Kane and Quinn Hughes. Andrei Vasilevsky Tracking System for Tampa, Anders Lee for the Islanders, and Quinn Hughes, Vancouver. Erik Karlsson Encore for Pittsburgh, Igor Shesterkin Tracking Systems, and Young Guns of Jakob Skarek. Outburst Quinton Byfield for LA, Ovechkin and Tom Wilson, Washington, and Sam Reinhart for Florida. Ivan Barbashev, canvas for Vegas, Victor Ostman, Young Guns for Seattle, and Connor Bedard Cup Quest. Nico Hischier Encore for New Jersey, William Eklund Portrait Speckle, Ilya Sorokin Tracking Systems. Austin Matthews, William Nealer Compadres, Rory Cairns, Young Guns for Calgary, William Eklund Portraits. Dazzlers of William Eklund, Philip Gustafson Canvas, and goal-oriented Austin Matthews. Josh Morrissey Encore, Sizzle Reel of Arturi Lehkonen, Sam Morton, the Young Guns to Calgary. Population count 1,000, William Eklund for the San Jose Sharks, Sizzle Reel of Matthew Tkachuk, Anze Kopitar for LA. Roman Josi Nashville Canvas, Nicholas Kakko, the Young Guns for Seattle, Jake Gunsel. Jacob Slavin, Carolina Black and White Canvas, Quinn Hughes Encore, Sizzle of Luke Hughes, sorry. Sizzle Reel of Alex Ovechkin, Washington, Gabe Perreault, Young Guns Rangers, Steven Stamkos Gold Oriented. Evander Kane Bustle, Edmonton, Dougie Hamilton Canvas, Nazem Kadri Portraits. Philip Gustafson Encore, Lucas Dostal Tracking Systems, Yanni Nyman, Young Guns for Seattle. A Young Gun Outburst, Stella Dvorsky for the St. Louis Blues. Nice one, St. Louis. Jay Gunsel and Tyler Toffoli. Box number 5. Canvas Chris Letang for Pittsburgh, Ian Moore, Young Guns for Anaheim, and Eric Carlson, Pittsburgh. A Young Gun Black and White Canvas, Ryan Suzuki for the Carolina Hurricanes. Nice one for the Canes. Mark Scheifele Encore and Philip Gustafson. Seth Jarvis Bustle for Carolina, Tim Washi, Young Guns for Anaheim, and Linus Ullmark for Ottawa. Jesper Bratt Bustle Speckle for New Jersey, Jared McCann for Seattle, and Clayton Keller. Frank Vetrano Encore for Anaheim, Cal McCarr, Nathan McKinnon, Compadres. Jacob Skarek, Young Guns for the Islanders. Dazzlers of Ivan Demidov for Montreal, Jordan Binnington, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Devin Tays, encore for Colorado. Elvis Merzlikins Tracking Systems. Colton Dock, Young Guns for Chicago. Jesper Bratt, Bustle Red Parallel out of 199 for the New Jersey Devils. Mort Sider Bustle and Austin Matthews, Toronto. Valerie Nikushkin Canvas for Colorado. Zane Perrick, Young Guns for Calgary. And Tage Thompson. Oliver Moore, encore for Chicago. Goal-oriented Sam Reinhart, Dylan Holloway Bustle. Sizzle Reel of Luke Evangelista, Sam Urinzel, Young Guns for Chicago. Tim Stutzla. Jason Robertson Outburst for Dallas. Mason Marchment and goal-oriented Nathan McKinnon. Box number 6. Alexei Lafreniere for the Rangers canvas. Joakim Kemmel, Young Guns for Nashville. Kirill Kaprizov, goal-oriented. Encore Blue, Adam Fantilli for Columbus. Cole Perfetti Encore. Andrei Vasilevsky Tracking Systems. Line A and Slavkovsky Compadres. Artem Levshinov, Young Guns for Chicago. And David Pasternak. Sizzle Reel. Dakota Joshua, Kyle Connor for Winnipeg. And Kirill Kaprizov Cup Quest. Noah Ostlund. Dazzlers for Buffalo. Kirill Kaprizov, Minnesota canvas. Talibor Dvorsky for the Blues. Matty Beniers encore for Seattle. Charlie Lindgren Tracking Systems. Ozzy Weisblatt, Young Guns for Nashville. Red compositions of Sean Monahan at a 199 for Columbus. Jack Eichel Compadres and Mark Stone. Jack Hughes. Matthias Ekholm, canvas for Edmonton. Oliver Moore, Young Guns Chicago. Nick Suzuki, Montreal. Leon Draisaitl encore for Edmonton. Anze Kopitar, LA. Jacob Markstrom, Tracking Systems. Jesper Bratt Bustle for New Jersey. Matthew Robertson, Young Guns for the Rangers. And Nikita Kucherov, goal-oriented. Ivan Barbashev encore for Vegas. Sizzle Reel Dakota Joshua. Carter Mazur. Young Guns for Detroit. Alexander Winberg, San Jose Outburst. Leo Carlson Sizzle Reel. Alex Ovechkin Portraits. All right, now to box number 7. Ross Colton canvas for Colorado. Jimmy Snuggerud Young Guns for the St. Louis Blues. Macklin Celebrini San Jose. Morgan Riley Encore. Morgan Riley Encore for Toronto. Goal-oriented Kirill Kaprizov. Darcy Kumper Tracking Systems. Artemi Panarin, Alexis Lafreniere, Compadres. Young Guns of Nicholas Kakko. Cup Quest of Martin Necas. Brandon Hagel, Dazzlers for Tampa. Steven Stamkos, Nashville Canvas, Evgeny Malkin Portraits. Nikita Kucherov Encore for Tampa. Sizzle Reel of Connor McDavid. Oliver Moore, Young Guns for Chicago. Tracking Systems of Stuart Skinner for Edmonton. Troy Terry Canvas for Anaheim. Gold Driven of Lucas Raymond for Detroit. Young Gun Canvas, Jack Finley for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Dylan Duke, Young Guns for Tampa, and Matthew Wood. Marco Rossi Encore for Minnesota. Matthew Nyes Encore. And Sizzle Reel of Mason McTavish. Yeah, I haven't pulled any of those bootlegs yet. Cole Perfetti Sizzle Reel. Donovan Sabrango, Young Guns for Ottawa, and Matthew Tkachuk. Like Jimmy did on release night, but I haven't pulled any yet. Mika Zibanejad Encore, Cam Talbot Tracking Systems, Riley Duren. Maybe tonight's the night. Why not, McDavid? Matthias Samuelson, Outburst for Buffalo, Owen Tippett, and Jonathan Marchessault. Stefan Neeson, New Jersey Exclusives out of 100. Cal McCarr, and goal-oriented Alex Ovechkin. Box number 6. Blake Coleman, Canvas. Gabe Perreault, Young Guns for the Rangers. Zach Hyman, Cup Quest. William Karlsson, Encore. Quinn Hughes, and Sam Reinhart Bustle. Tkachuk and Barkov, Compadres. Parker Ford, Young Guns for Winnipeg, and Matthew Tkachuk. Lucas Raymond Dazzlers, Canvas Kevin Hayes, and Gold Driven Jack Eichel. Boone Jenner, Encore for Columbus. Sizzle of Matthew Nyes, Victor Osman. Young Guns for Seattle. Kirill Marchenko Dazzlers, Pink for Columbus. Wyatt Johnston and Sean Monahan, Columbus. Young Gun Canvas, Colton Dach for the Chicago Blackhawks. Dominic Shine, Young Guns for Detroit. Kyle Connor, Winnipeg. Artem Levshinov, Encore Blue for Chicago. Wyatt Johnston, Encore. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Compadres. Jacob Markstrom, Tracking Systems for New Jersey. William Eklund, Canvas. Josh Morrissey, Portraits. John Carlson, Encore for Washington. Sizzle Reel of Sebastian Aho. Ethan Frank, Young Guns for Washington. Sizzle reel of Kirill Marchenko, Elias Pettersson, Young Guns for Vancouver, Braden Point. Sorry. Sergei Bobrovsky outburst for Florida, Mackenzie Blackwood Tracking System, Sebastian Aho. Lucas Dostal Canvas for Anaheim, Michael Callahan, Young Guns for Boston, Adam Fox Portraits. Jalen Chatfield, clear cut for the Carolina Hurricanes, William Eklund Encore for San Jose, Samuel Urson. Brady Tkachuk Bustle for Ottawa, Jacob Melanson. Young Guns for Seattle and Connor Bedard, Chicago. Sizzle Aurelio Carlson, Samuel Montembeau Canvas, Adrian Kempe Cup Quest. Jake Ottinger Dazzlers for Dallas, Jeremy Swayman Boston Canvas, Connor Hellebuck Cup Quest. Sticking. JT Miller Encore for the Rangers, Aiden Hill Tracking Systems, and Justin Robidas Young Guns for Carolina. Paolo Kochetkov Dazzlers Pink for Carolina, Zach Werenski Bustle, and Brant Clark Portraits. Canvas of Brant Clark for LA, Noah Osland, Young Guns for Buffalo, Gold Driven Kirill Marchenko. Connor Bedard, Encore for Chicago, Cale Makar Portraits, Philip Forsberg Sizzle Reel. Sizzle Reel of Kyle Connor, Jacob Gaucher, Young Guns for Philadelphia, Robert Thomas, St. Louis. Zach Werenski Encore for Columbus, Jeremy Swayman Tracking Systems, Demidov and Levshinov. Young Gun Checklist, random at the end. Pack, box number 9. Paolo Kochetkov outburst for Carolina, Toffoli and Celebrini Compadres, and Wyatt Johnston for Dallas. Way to go. Canvas Cole Caulfield for Montreal, Young Guns of Skylar Brandamore, and Cole Caulfield goal oriented. Clear cuts, Ben Chariot for Detroit, Mort Seider Encore, and Yaroslav Askarov. Tracking Systems for San Jose. Alex DeBrincat, Dylan Larkin Compadres, Jacob Melanson, Young Guns for Seattle, and Brandon Hagel. Yeah, there are lots of Canes. Agreed. Sizzle Reel of Nazem Kadri, Patrick Laine Canvas, and Matty Beniers, Seattle. Dazzlers, Jared McCann, Clayton Keller Canvas, and Eric Carlson for Pittsburgh. UC Saros Encore for Nashville, Dustin Wolf Tracking Systems, Owen Sillinger, and Young Guns for Columbus. Dmitry Kulikov at a 250. Deluxe for the Florida Panthers, Aho and Svechnikov, and Jason Robertson. Cup Quest. Jake Sanderson, Ottawa Canvas. Ivan Demidov, Young Guns. Number 2 for the Montreal Canadiens. Number 2. Very nice. Dougie Hamilton Portraits. Andrei Svechnikov Encore. Quinn Hughes Portraits. Philip Grubauer Tracking Systems. Matt Boldy Bustle. Young Guns of Nikita Tolopolo. And Connor McDavid Oriented. Alexander Barkov Encore. Sizzle Reel of Leon Draisaitl, Jacob Quillen. Young Guns for Toronto. Artem Zub, Outburst for Ottawa, Sizzle Reel of Kent Johnson and Timo Meier. All right, Terlin, how are you? Two to go. Owen Tippett, Canvas. Delibor Dvorsky, Young Guns for St. Louis. William Nylander, Goal Oriented. Chemicar Encore for Colorado. Cup Quest Tage Thompson and Sizzle Reel of Austin Matthews. Sizzle Reel of Sergei Bobrovsky, Luca Cagnoni. Young Guns for San Jose and Lane Hudson. Krista Tang, Dazzlers, Canvas Dylan Cousins, and Jared McCann. Philip Forsberg Encore for Nashville, Logan Thompson Tracking Systems, and Matthew Robertson, Young Guns Rangers. Deluxe Sam Lafferty at a 250 for Buffalo, Lane Hudson Bustle, and Philip Forsberg Nashville. Hey Smokey, what's up, buddy? Sizzle Reel Speckle of Cam Fowler, Darcy Kumper Canvas, and Chris Kreider Cup Quest. A Young Gun Canvas Matthew Wood for Nashville, Mark Gatcomb, Young Guns for the Islanders, and Connor Bedard Portraits. Yeah, doing well, thanks. Travis Sanheim Encore for Philadelphia, Paolo Kochetkov Tracking Systems, and Carson Dorwart. Young Guns. Matthew Barzell, Black and White Canvas. Andrei Vasilevsky Encore, Linus Olmark Tracking Systems. Kiefer Sherwood Bustle. Yanni Nyman, Young Guns for Seattle. Connor McDavid, Edmonton. Jeremy Lauzon, Nashville Outburst. Connor Hellebuck, Josh Morrissey, and Noah Ostlund. Final box, box number 12. Break 17927. Wow, good for you. That's awesome. That is a huge hit. Leon Draisaitl canvas for Edmonton. Owen Sillinger, Young Guns for Columbus, and Mitch Marner. Katagochi Encore for Anaheim. Igor Shesterkin Cup Quest. Jordan Binnington. Tracking Systems. Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes for New Jersey. Dylan Duke, Young Guns for Tampa. Seth Jarvis Portraits. Cole Caulfield Dazzlers for Montreal. Mario Ferrero and Austin Matthews. Tage Thompson Encore. Sizzle Ariel Quinn Hughes and Luca Cagnoni. Young Guns for San Jose. Ryan Suzuki Young Gun Canvas for the Carolina Hurricanes. Cam Lund Young Guns for San Jose. Alex DeBrincat Cup Quest. Cole Perfetti Black and White Canvas for Winnipeg. Brock Faber Encore and Sizzle Reel of Cam Fowler. Sizzle Reel of Nazem Kadri. Jimmy Snuggerud Young Guns for St. Louis and Matt Zuccarello. Line A and Slavkovsky. Joel Eriksson Ek goal-oriented Leon Draisaitl. Drake Batherson Encore for Ottawa. Stuart Skinner Tracking Systems. Ville Koivunen. Young Guns for Pittsburgh. Macklin Celebrini Outburst for San Jose. Tyler Bertuzzi Bustle and Jason Roberts in Dallas. Not a pack. Population Count 1,000. Nice hit for Montreal. Ivan Nemedov. Nathan McKinnon and Elias Pettersson. All right, 2 randoms to do. Give me 1 second. I'll set those up. All right, first one, Montreal and Chicago. This is the Young Gun checklist. 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Going to Chicago. And next up, Minnesota, Washington. This is for the canvas checklist. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That one going to Minnesota. Alright, that does it for break number 17927. Hope you enjoyed it, everyone. Congrats to Montreal on that one. Thanks, guys.